Ready for a hot take? Your paintings might not be selling because you think they're terrible. They might not be selling because they don't have enough highlights, midtones, and shadows placed into them. There's a reason why Rembrandt and John Singer Sargent are known for their master portraiture work. They are able to utilize lights and shadows in such an incredible and unique way that we as viewers are like, wow, how did they do that? What does that even mean? They must have used color. But really, it was just a lot of light and shadows and understanding where to point the light and where the shadow should hit. Now, you might not be a portraiture artist. You might be focusing on florals or landscapes or architecture or even an abstract artist, just like me. But even so, lighting plays a huge deal in your paintings because it creates that extra emotion and depth, and it continues to guide the viewer towards the ultimate message that you're trying to communicate. In this video series, I'm talking about the fundamentals of art and design, and in the previous video, I talked all about composition and how we need to be strategic with the elements that we have in our paintings and in our work, because we want to be able to communicate something effectively, and how we position those items plays a huge deal in helping our viewer understand our message quicker and easier, and helps them realize, yes, actually, I do want that. I do want that painting on my wall. I do want that one. Please give it to me now. And lighting builds on the concept of composition because, like I mentioned before, and even I hope you can see now, I've got a light right here and I'm having it point at me because I want you to focus on me. As soon as I start pointing it away from me, well then, it's kind of flat, isn't it? And if we haven't yet met, my name is Rachel, and I'm the manager and artist of Mercy Creates. I have a background in graphic design, drawing and painting, and marketing. So I really like to create art, and I like to sell my art. And I do that with Mercy Creates. It's a watercolor business inspired by Bible verses that have impacted me and my life, and I hope that they can create Christ-centered conversations in your home. And if you're new to this series, I am using all of my work, all of my paintings as the demonstration pieces because I don't know. I don't know why I decided to do that instead of just pulling some random Google image, but here we are. I'm talking about my work and I'm sharing it again to analyze, and hopefully I can think of something better next time so I'm not constantly ripping the Band-Aid off of an open wound of paintings and stuff that I haven't yet sold. But here we are. So for the subject of lighting, we're going to use the collection Light and Life because to me it was just obvious. I have a collection all about lighting and the reason why light and what it symbolizes in the Bible should be celebrated, and we should learn more about it. And if you want to learn more about this collection and see the paintings that are available, you can check out the link in the description below. Whether you've been painting for years or you're just getting started, God has given you a very unique and creative voice, and it's time to start using that to tell of His goodness. My name's Rachel, and I'm the artist and manager of Mercy Creates, a watercolor business that shows the bold and beautiful truths of Scripture. And I want to help you do the same through the Faithful Artist Workshop. This isn't your typical art class. In fact, it's a step-by-step interactive workshop that uncovers your unique purpose and story and helps you translate it into your creativity. We're going to talk about marketing. We're going to talk about collections. We're going to talk about consistency, and we're going to talk about God's word. And I hope to see you at the Faithful Artists Workshop. More details below. Before we start talking about pieces, let's understand why lighting is so important to our paintings and why we need to integrate it more. Light can create depth in our paintings by using the highlights, the midtones, and the shadows. And it can also be a source of drama for our paintings, for our artwork. Because when you have light, not light, but when you have soft light, it is more peaceful. It's more airy, it's more open, it's more pastel-y. Think Van Gogh, think Monet, think those water lilies. It's just serene. It's nice. It's enjoyable. And on the other hand, when you have that dramatic lighting, it can create that sense of urgency, that sense of something big is happening, that sense of, or that story of, oh no, we need to be paying attention. Something's going on. So it's so important to integrate lighting into our artwork because we want to convey some type of emotion with our painting. We're not just trying to tell a story, we're also trying to attach it with a feeling. There's a lot out there on the internet about how when you attach something with a feeling, with a memory, with an emotion, it resonates more with your customer, with your viewer. So if you want to sell more of your artwork, it might be that, again, like I said at the very beginning, it's not that it's a bad piece of art or a bad painting. It's just that it's not connecting with them emotionally. And you can do that by those highlights, those lowlights, those midtones, those shadows. It's an underutilized tool that really sets us apart from good artists to great artists. So before you start, either make a mental note that this is where my light source is going to be, and it's going to be brighter, and then it's going to be darker as it continues to fade out and get further away from the light source. Or what I like to do is just place a little pencil mark. This is where my light source is going to be. So I can continue to remember, okay, it needs to bounce off of this cloud this way. It needs to be on this direction of the petal this way, because that's where it's coming down at. And it's important to remember that because where the beams are hitting from your light source, that's another marker, another piece in that journey that we're taking our viewer on to give them a smooth path to focus on our message and what we want them to understand and realize with our painting and with our art. So you can almost think about it in that journey, that visual journey that we're creating. That composition is like the good shoes, and lighting is like the map that you have. You know the little path that you're trying to take because the light is telling you which path you're trying to take. Lights and shadows are super important too because they create a sense of contrast. And it makes sense because when we define our terms again, contrast means that there are two things that are starkly different from each other. Looking at my notes, because I want to make sure I got the right definition, something that has noticeable qualities that are different from something else. That's what contrast creates. So we want to make sure that there's a notable difference from a cloud versus a beach. We don't want them all to look the same. We don't want our viewer to get confused and thinking, where's the sky? Where's the ground? What's going on? Because again, like I mentioned before in another video, the more calories that our viewer is having to use to understand the messaging that we're trying to get across, the longer it's going to take for them to make a decision. The longer it takes for them to make a decision, the more opportunity it is for them to say no to us and then move on to something else that they can quickly understand. Now, here's a good exercise for you if you really want to stretch those creative muscles and to really get that lighting concept down. Take an inanimate object like a piece of fruit or a mug or some other simple object, and also a small light if you can. Place the object underneath the light like a lamp, and then start drawing and sketching it out and seeing where the highlight is and then where the shadows are. Then move the light to another direction. Do the same process, sketch it out, lights and shadows, do it again. Move the light again, or move the object on a different angle. Do the lights and darks. This will really help to strengthen your creative muscles and to help you realize, okay, the lighting is coming from this direction. That means that this is going to be the brightest part and this is going to be the darkest part. We went over that pretty quickly. So to recap, lighting has a lot to do with what type of emotion that we want to convey, and it helps connect our viewer and draw them into a focal point. And we can do that with contrast and with the highlights and shadows. It's a simple and subtle way to help bring our customer through that journey to the message that we're ultimately trying to tell them. But it's so impactful, and sometimes it's underutilized. So I hope this has been encouraging for you, and I really want to see if you've done any of those exercises about lighting. Let me know. Let me know if you've done more dramatic lighting or that soft, peaceful lighting. I want to see your work and I want to cheer you on. The next video in the series is, I know it's going to be my favorite one. I haven't recorded it yet, but I know it's going to be my favorite one because it's going to be all about color. And I'm so excited. We're going to talk about color theory, color palettes, and why you need to be using color in your paintings and your pieces. So I'll catch you in the next video.